Okay everyone, welcome back. I have my excessively bouncy camera mount ready to go again here in the kitchen. And I want to talk about some Pocket 380 pistols. Here in front of me I have two examples of the Kel-Tec P3AT. It's the one in the center and the one to the right. And then on the left we have the Taurus TCP. All three of these pistols have been carried quite a bit, and we'll talk a little bit about them as we go. First, I want to just show all three weapons. This one, as you can see, has a slide lock and it is locked open, and some stuff on it. The Kel-Tecs do not have a slide lock. Just cover that, and that is why they are closed. I'll just show you. They are all empty, no magazines in any of them. So, we'll start with a quick rundown on the TCP versus the Kel-Tec. And I'll take one of them out of the way here. Just go over this. On the left is the TCP. It has an overall length of 5.2 inches. And the P3AT is exactly the same. The barrel on the TCP, on the Taurus, just to make it easy, we'll go Taurus and Kel-Tec. On the Taurus, it is 2.84, whereas on the Kel-Tec, it is a 2.7 inch barrel. It's just slightly less on that one. The width of the gun is 0.87 on the Taurus and 0.77 on the Kel-Tec. It's about 1/10 of an inch thinner. The height, the Taurus is showing 3.75, and I believe that's going to be with the magazine installed, and a 3.5 on the Kel-Tec. Yeah, because empty, they are almost identical in height, and they are identical in length. The weight on the Taurus, it is a little heavier. It's a 10.2 ounce gun. Was the only spec I could find for it. I don't have a scale handy that goes that light. And on the P3AT, on the Kel-Tec, it's 7.7 ounces. So it's about 2.5 ounces lighter. And both of those weights I'm pretty sure are unloaded. But magazine capacity on the standard magazines are the same. So whatever the difference is should go up on both equally. The Taurus advertises that with a 4.8 pound trigger. The Kel-Tec is advertised with a 5-pound trigger. So the triggers are both comparable. In my opinion, the Taurus being a little bit bigger of a trigger is a little more comfortable to shoot. It just, the trigger feels smoother and feels a lot nicer. As I mentioned, that the the Taurus does have a slide lock, whereas the Kel-Tec does not. One thing I wanted to go over too, on these Kel-Tecs, the firing pin is retained in the slide by this hex head screw that holds the extractor spring in. The firing pin is round with a flat side on it that is only cut through part of the length of the firing pin. If you dry fire this gun, it will damage the end of that screw. The firing pin will come forward until the back side of that cutout in the firing pin hits the end of the screw, and it'll make the screw almost impossible to get out, and it will damage the firing pin. So just something to be aware of. If you're going to dry fire with these guns, do it with a snap cap. On the TCP, that's not a problem. There is no screw there. The firing pin, it can be safely dry fired without damaging anything. But just something I thought I would mention. Now on the Kel-Tecs, we'll here, let's talk about the Taurus first. The Taurus comes with 2 of these magazines, and this is a 6-round magazine, plus 1 in the chamber. Now with the Kel-Tec, they give you some options. They come with the 6-round flush fit magazine, whereas the Taurus one, it does hang down a little bit on the bottom, gives you a little extra pinky room. On the Kel-Tec, you can also get this one, which has a pinky extension on the bottom. They have a 1-round extended magazine that I don't have currently. And they have these 3-round extended magazines, which you'll see the magazine is empty, that fit, and they look like they fit really well. Gives you a full purchase even with big hands like mine. But I cannot stand these magazines, and the reason is I get more purchase on the magazine than I do the gun, and the magazine rocks. So when I'm firing it, the gun feels like it's jumping around and I'm just holding the magazine still. So that's something to be aware of if you ever look into getting these 3-round extensions for the magazines. Kind of nice having 9+1 and a little 380, but when you have a big hand and you're holding more magazine than gun, it doesn't work out as well as it sounds like it would. Now I have fired that gun with the 1-round extension, and that one wasn't bad at all. This one is a special one of my wife's. Our son is autistic, so we put the puzzle pieces on it, and she loves the pink and purple camo. So we had that done for her just because she liked it. And outfitted it with the Crimson Trace laser guide. And she also really enjoys that. Sorry, I got a little piece of tape over some of the serial numbers on these. Just because, Google. But in any case, that's just a little bit of the information I wanted to put out there. Now with the holster options, this one is mine. I've carried it quite a bit when I needed to have something that was deep concealment, didn't want to take any chances of, like working in customer service, don't want to see the customer to see a bulge in my hip, or, when I bend down to get something or lean some way, I didn't want to have a gun revealed. So I would use this DeSantis Nemesis pocket holster, and the G3 size fits this like a glove, and the Taurus fits in it well as well, just to let you know on that. And with the Crimson Trace, it doesn't fit quite as well. It doesn't go in quite deep enough. Now with the sticky holster, and this is a SM2, that does fit real well in that, and these also work pretty good. The sticky holster fits this, but it's a little loose. Now with the larger trigger guard on the TCP, it's a little loose but not too bad. I mean, it's a pocket holster, so you need to be able to leave the holster behind when you draw. So, but now with these, I don't know if Taurus still supplies them, but with the TCP, you would get this pouch as a metal belt clip on it, and you could also take the clip off and run a belt this way through the pouch itself. You cannot go vertically. So this could be worn directly on a belt or clipped onto a belt. There's a magnetic retention through these two buttons. And they're pretty stout magnets. It takes a bit to get it open. But the downside is you can't store the gun vertically to where you'll get a good purchase and be able to pull it out. You would have to store it horizontally in the pouch, and then it becomes more effort to get this thing out if you needed it in a hurry. So I just thought I'd put that out there. But those are a couple of holster options. And I have a question on the 380 magazines for all of you out there. We've come across one, and I don't know its origin. I don't know where it came from. I don't even know how it came to be in me or my family's collections. And I've found a couple of similar magazines, but I have not found an identical one. I would just like to get your opinions on this. It's a 6-round magazine. The 380 round fits perfectly in it. I can fit 6 380s. They go down smooth, come up smooth. It's not big enough for a 9mm Mac, 9x18. And things like 32s won't fit in it correctly. But it has a very long base plate extending out the front. There's no markings on it whatsoever. If you have any idea what this might fit, there's no cutouts for a standard button style release. So it's more like a European heel release, I suspect. There's no real wear down on that bottom corner. Let me see if the camera will focus on this. Not really. But just wanted to put that out there. It's just slightly longer than the Kel-Tec and the Taurus magazines. So if you have any ideas on what it might fit, let me know, and I appreciate you watching.